Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
You never 3, 2, 1 the second time.
Nope. Sorry. Not sorry.
No, you're not.
Welcome to Two Tangled Skeins. I can't see myself through the camera, so...
There you go. You have to look at the camera.
Yep, I can't. Yep. Welcome to Two Tangled Skeins. I'm Sue,
Saturday.
also known as Crafty Knitter 7. Today is... Don't.
I have no idea. So.
Saturday, September 26, 2015. This is episode 129.
Hi, I'm Lynn, also known as Told Baby. You can find us on... Did she write it down for me? No, she didn't. Sure, you write your part down.
I didn't write my part down.
No, not this time you didn't. You can find us on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram.
And possibly...
Us on Instagram.
iTunes,
we're working on her.
And I'm on Periscope.
Ooh, you've joined Periscope.
Yes.
And our blog is at twotangledskeins.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I am Selma123, and my part of the administrator is to say, come to our Ravelry group.
Because if you're not in the Ravelry group, you can't win the prizes.
Oh, right. That was the other part I was supposed to say.
So I have a few administrative things I want to get off the table right away. Welcome to any
Running
new...
a board meeting here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome. Well, I did a separate page because it was the show notes were like 3 to 4 pages long.
That happens when she's here.
I know. I'd like to welcome any new viewers and say hello to any returning viewers. Thanks for coming back and putting up with the crazy, because that's basically what we are.
We'd write a whole book if you'd come every week.
Wow.
We want you back.
And I want to say a special hello to one of our friends' daughters.
Oh, yes. We have a little tiny viewer.
Yes. So Brandy, who is Eat My Yarns on Ravelry. We want to say hello.
Not where I thought you were going with that.
No. We would like to say hello to Violet, who is also known as Letty.
Hi, Letty.
Hi, Letty. We saw you the other night on the VKN with your mom.
Yep. And we loved your jammies.
Yep. They were so cute. And we would like to thank someone who sent us a donation. I didn't ask permission to say their name, so I won't. But they hit the donate button on our website, and that helps with shipping and miscellaneous other things that have to do with the podcast.
Because we love doing the giveaways, but every now and then we have to take a break because the shipping is pricey. Yeah, Sue has a stack of them that need to go out.
A couple of them are personal, but the rest aren't.
Yeah.
And also, don't forget about the Pigskin cow, which we will be talking about throughout the episode.
At Down Cellar Studios podcast.
Yes.
That was kind of important to mention.
Sorry.
Because it's not our cow.
No.
Yes, the Pigskin party is going on in BostonJen's group, which is Down Cellar Studio podcast.
Yeah. So I don't have any foes, so I'll leave the floor to you guys.
Ooh.
I have foes, but you go first.
Oh.
Or are you mid-row?
I am mid-row, but that is okay. It's
Okay.
all nice and neat, and I will just put it over there. I've got 3 foes.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So last time I was on, I think I seem to be coming on every 3 or 4.
2 or 3, yeah.
3 or 4 episodes. I was knitting. I gotta go over this way, and
Yes,
I gotta look at the camera.
Because you're normally here.
I was knitting this little sock, which is kind of leftovers from my daughter's sock, and I finished the other one. So now I have a pair, and these are hopefully going to Nunavut, to some little girl up north.
That is awesome.
Yeah, there's an organization called Warm Hands, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know of it?
Carlene does blankets for them, I think.
Yeah, and I just have to figure out where their drop-off is, because Wabi Sabi wasn't quite sure that they were still going to be a drop-off. So anyway, that's one thing that I finished. And I just love
cute.
They're so adorable.
I love that yarn.
And
Kid stuff goes so
Oh, you've
fast.
got a mini of it, by the way.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to start doing that every time I finish a pair of socks, because there's always tons of yarn left over. I mean, unless you're making knee-highs, there's always yarn left over.
I
make
have
short
on
socks,
average
so-
more than 20 grams left.
Oh,
Because I don't make mine very tall.
well, I had enough for these, plus another 15 grams. And I didn't weigh these, but these are probably 30 grams or something in total, right? So that would be like 45 grams.
Yep. I make ankle socks, so I always have tons left over.
Yeah. So that's one foe.
Yeah, you have minis for all of us.
And then I finished my Shaelyn.
Woo!
I'm very, very happy with
Did you
it.
have time
I
to block
say.
it?
I had time to block it.
It's beautiful.
Oh, wow. Hi, Lynn.
I'll just pet it for that here.
It is huge. Like, Yeah, it's
I
longer
wanted
than your
it
wingspan.
big. I used a good somewhere between 600 and 700 yards.
Is that fingering?
It's fingering.
Okay.
It's the Estelle Arequipa, which has a little bit of 10% of alpaca in it. And I pretty much followed the pattern, but I did...
That's what I get for petting it first.
Did you touch it?
Yes.
I petted it.
Okay.
Fortunately, I'm also drugged up, so.
Okay. The last repeat on this shawl is supposed to be the same as all the other repeats, but I decided to make it a little longer so that it really looked like an edge.
It's...
And so there you go. I feel like I need to dance flamenco or something when I wear this.
But like you said, you want to bring it to work, and
Yep.
it'll be a nice piece
It's a
to
very
go with
nice
anything.
piece. It's beautiful. I really love it, and it's a great simple shawl pattern. It's well written. Really liked it. Very happy.
Nice.
Very, very happy with it, and very happy to have a shawl because I remember one of the first shawls I made. I was so disappointed with how small it was. I was like,
Yep, that's usually my problem.
pointless if they're too
My
small.
Mara
right?
is just big enough, but I could see it being bigger, but I'll never knit it again.
No. So there you go. Then I'm also wearing a faux. This is an old faux, but as I promised, I would always be obnoxious and wear one.
faux.
Sorry, I was just covering my needle points so they wouldn't get cut.
Oh.
That's why I was like...
So I'm wearing sweater that I made, at least 3 years ago.
Yeah, we were still in the old building. That's 3 years.
Yeah. And this is the Paloma, which is by...
Failed making that sweater.
You didn't fail.
You didn't fail. You used the wrong yarn for your hands.
You're not a cotton girl.
Nope. No.
It's nice to wear cotton.
She frogged hers a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. And yours was green.
It was a pretty fabulous green.
It was. It was a fabulous green. I remember.
But it was cotton.
Yeah. This one is, I made it out of Katia bamboo, which is actually a cotton bamboo blend.
Maybe I need to have something with a blend.
Well, I guess it depends on what it is about the cotton that makes it difficult for you.
No stretch.
I don't know if this really had any stretch either. I think I have one ball left. I'm not sure. But you could always try. I don't have a problem knitting with those kinds of fibers, so.
Yeah.
Are you getting all itchy?
Oh no.
It's okay.
Only 10%.
I know.
So anyway, this is a
I'm
sweater
a special snowflake.
that I've really enjoyed, and the yarn has kept in very good shape considering that I've worn it a lot.
Yeah.
And that's it. They actually had this yarn on sale at Wool Time a couple of months ago, but I didn't love any of the other colors. Like, I would have bought it again.
That's your color.
Yeah.
I was going to say, duh.
If you know
The
Selma.
other colors were colors.
Gray and ochre.
Yeah.
Ochre.
Ochre?
Ochre. Ochre is a vegetable.
Oh, sorry. You like vegetables, don't you?
I do. Okra's not my favorite vegetable. It does get a little slimy when it's cooked.
Oh, it's delicious in soup.
You don't feel like wearing okra.
No.
It only gets slimy if it's not cooked properly.
Okay.
Deep fried okra at Cracker Barrel is to die for. We'll stop there.
I was just going to say, I remember you guys mentioning something.
We'll
about
stop
that.
there.
We always stop there because, you know, you have to introduce someone new to the store before
Yeah.
you get into the restaurant.
Sorry, I'm kicking the table.
So there you go.
There we go.
So this is another faux. Love it. I've worn it a lot. I wear it with a necklace that is a little rough here often, and it's frayed at just a teeny weeny bit, but really a teeny weeny bit. So
Yeah,
those are,
but, you know, fashion. Gotta look good.
well, yeah.
Did you make that?
I bought my friend a weaving class at a local yarn store called Wabi Sabi. And actually, Sue and I did the weaving course there like 3 years ago also about.
Yep.
And then I didn't touch a loom after that.
Or did I?
But this friend of mine has wanted to learn how to weave for a long time. And she loves
Which
weaving.
friend?
And it's friend Liz. We've been
Okay.
friends since university.
Yeah, but all the friends you've had forever. I think.
Not
you know,
me.
except for us.
Yeah.
She only had me for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of, yeah, she's an old
Probably
friend.
a good thing. I'm best in concentrated.
Friend for life kind of thing. Anyway, so I got her the course for her birthday, and then she said, well, you're going to come too, right? I was like, why not? So my finished object is from my weaving course.
I love
That's
this
beautiful.
part.
Yeah, and so it was kind of neat because when we did it, Sue and I did it, it was a one night thing, and so you were speeding through trying to get a course, trying to get your scarf finished. Whereas this time they've actually extended it to 2 nights. And so this didn't end up nearly as long as it should have been because it was supposed to be a scarf. So it's a table runner.
I like it.
And that's fine because it was really experimental. Like I was trying...
It's a decor scarf. It's not a warm
stitches,
scarf.
like this thing here, which is called a Brooks something or other. Can't remember exactly what. Looks like kitchen windows is what I call it.
It's, yeah.
So, and then there's some different sort of scenic stuff happening here where you go back and forth. So this was my 2-night... There's just one string I have to sew in still. But this was my 2-night weaving course. And I'm very...
So now that you've done it twice, what do you think of it?
Well, you know what? The first time I thought the warping where you're putting all the vertical strings on or threads, I thought, okay, this is like super tedious. But this time, I didn't find it as tedious because maybe I didn't have as much to learn.
And you weren't being pushed quickly.
And there was more time. And it was 2 colors. So because as you can see, there are 2 colors on the vertical lines. There was a lot to think about, right? It wasn't just putting the stuff on. The toughest part is the edges, is getting the edges straight, and they're not fantastic.
My scarf isn't.
And my
that comes with practice, though.
Exactly.
I want to get a 20-inch loom. That's
well, a 20-inch loom is probably a perfect size because you can do a lot with that.
Yeah.
Right? I'm considering getting a loom too.
When I was a kid, I had the Fisher-Price tabletop loom, and I loved that thing. And I've been looking on eBay to get another one.
You have a tiny loom, right?
I have a little 7.5-inch square one, which I haven't taken out of the box.
Yeah. See, I'd like to get that size. Well, I guess you
borrow mine for now.
I want to make coasters.
Well, you really don't need a big
coasters.
No.
You want a zoom loom.
Yours is big for coasters?
Mine is 7.5 inches.
Right.
But you don't have to fill the whole thing, do you?
Well, no, but I wouldn't know what you would do with the rest of the work.
Well, see, like this was done on on a loom like the kind you're talking about, like the kind that we used for the course, and we use the same ones again. You don't have to warp the entire width.
No, I know, but the thing is if you were just doing a coaster, you'd still have all this left over.
Yeah, you'd have to, or maybe you could do 2. You could leave a gap and then cut those and put those in, or I'm not sure.
But I mean, I think it's who does the zoom loom? Anyway, it's about this big. It's a little teeny thing. That'd be perfect.
I found a pattern. I found a pattern online that gives you. It's a printout with all the dots where to put your nails, and there's a small one and a bigger one.
Yeah, and you can make them easily enough.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, especially for if you wanted to make coasters, you could easily
go
make
all
one.
Andrea and DIY it.
I was going to DIY it because...
Sorry, I swore I would never use that term, and here I am. Drives me crazy.
So...
Yeah, so those are my foes.
Cool. I can come back now.
Oh, those are my foes.
Do you have a foe?
I have 3 foes. I'm wearing a foe.
Yes, you are.
Give me a sec.
Well, you can't see it on camera anymore.
You will in a sec. It's sort of slipped off the back of my head.
Yeah. You're doing the slouchy thing.
I was trying to do the slouchy thing, and it wasn't working because my hair is too smooth right now. Normally it's not this squishy. So I knit a Barley hat.
I really like that.
Me too. I don't need the pattern anymore. I knit one, I can knit a million of them now.
How many stitches do you start with?
That depends on what size you're making.
I see.
In this case, it was 90.
Okay.
Because who's it by?
It's Tin Can Knits. It's a free pattern in her Learn to Knit series.
Well, it kind of goes along with the flax, doesn't it?
It does.
A similar idea to it.
It has the garter stitch panel on one side, and then the rest of it is stockinette. So this knit up so fast. I think it took me a grand total of about 4 hours to make it.
I was going to say it was less than a day.
No, this one actually I did over the course of 3 evenings. But it literally only took me 4 hours to knit it. Total.
That's what I mean,
so,
total hours.
It was really quick. Really easy pattern. You memorize it by the second line. I mean...
Well, what's to memorize?
Exactly.
Stockinette and garter.
Yep, pretty much.
Awesome.
So, and now my hair's in it, so... This one's for charity, so I really shouldn't put my hair in it, but... So this was actually a ball of yarn that I had bought for a class at Stitches. in 2012. So this was like pretty old stash that I really had no use for other than the class. It's Patents Canadiana in the... I sent it to you because I don't remember what it was. The oatmeal colorway. I had to look it up. I had no idea what it was. It was done on US 4mm, a US 6, which is 4mm for the ribbing, and the rest was done on a US 8, which is 5mm. So, and it was worth 22 points in the Pigskin party.
Why is it called a Pigskin party?
Because
Football.
it's the duration of the football season.
Sorry. Clearly
I'm not doing it, which...
not very learned in the football vocabulary.
Me neither. I've been having to look up things like interception and, yeah.
Yeah, because she's got all kinds
I
of
know
things.
nothing about football.
She's got all kinds of things going on.
Sadly, this didn't count for an interception. There was no way I could fake this being related to anything to do with 12. The September interception is to knit something that has something to do with the number 12 for Tom Brady, I think, who is some quarterback somewhere. I think Jen's team. So
The name sounds familiar, actually.
I've heard of him. I don't know who he is or who he plays for, but he's a football player. So my socks related to the 12, but this I couldn't. There was no way I could justify that one.
Basically, this is just a caveat for you to knit things.
Yeah,
And get points and
pretty much.
prizes.
So yeah, I got a touchdown and a field goal for this because it was about 187 yards thereabouts. And I got to use points because it was old stash. Sorry, I know there's hair in here and I'm trying to get it out. But this is the first of my charity hats for the winter. I always knit a bunch and bring them to the homeless shelter because it's damn cold out here.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet, but it will be. Which is why I'm not putting the hat back on because I'm hot.
Because last year someone sent us a box full of hats.
Yeah, two people sent us a box full of hats. It was
pretty
kind of
awesome.
awesome. And the homeless shelter was thrilled. The second faux, please forgive me, it's the ugliest damn thing I have ever knit. But that's the yarn. This ball of yarn.
Wasn't that a question last week?
Yeah, well
Ugliest faux or regret, knitting regret?
Now I can tell you because it's this thing. This was a ball of yarn that was given to me when I was working at Michael's. I was brought in over the Christmas holidays to sit in the front of the store and knit. I was literally paid to sit there and knit.
That's wonderful.
Because they were having a huge yarn sale event, and our store traditionally did not sell a whole heck of a lot of yarn. And my boss wanted me to sit in the front of the store and knit and direct people to yarns that they needed for their project and so on and so forth. So I got paid to sit there for 3 or 4 days and knit. So they gave me this ball yarn because this stuff wasn't selling very well. I can tell you why.
Yes, give me the stuff that's not selling. There's usually a reason.
Yeah, well, fortunately, the other yarn they gave me was really nice, so I forgave them. This is called Red Heart Boutique Changes. It was on the market for somewhere between 6 months and a year, and I'll tell you why. Red Heart had the brilliant idea of making a ball of yarn that had 6 different types of yarn in it.
I like the sparkly.
My daughter loves the sparkly. Sadly, there were only 2 teeny little bits of the sparkly.
And then is this and that's a boucle.
It feels like a mohair.
But it's not. It's some kind of...
This one's boucle.
Okay.
This one was this was the normalist looking yarn. This was a ribbon yarn. This was boucle with fluffy.
Can we say boucle enough?
Awful stuff. And well, first I had the ribbon yarn, then I had the sparkly stuff, which is metallic, so it feels like knitting with tinfoil.
Oh.
Thank God there were only 2 rows at a time of that stuff. I was going to throw this ball of yarn out when I found it the other day in my stash because I was organizing stuff and my daughter was helping me. And I'm like, oh, put this in the garbage. And she's like, but Mummy, it's beautiful. Sorry. I set off a minion.
Spoke.
I set off a minion. They're all behind my head.
Yep.
So she says, it's beautiful. Can I have a scarf?
And
22 hours. 22 hours. And I had knit this up. This is the entire ball of yarn. So it didn't even go very far. I mean, it's 180 yards, I think, for the whole ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my hat was 150 yards. This is 187. Sorry.
Did you get points for that?
I got points for this. You damn right I got points for this. I was not going to knit this without getting points.
Exactly.
Oh. Bleh. I cast it on, I think it was 5 p.m. the first evening. And I had about this much left to do when I went to bed that night. So I got it done right away the next day when I got up. And handed it to her. And she's like, I love it! And she put it on and she wouldn't take it off. My kids do know how to appreciate hand knits, even when they're fugly.
But to her, it's not.
She loves it. She adores this thing. She put it on. She walked around the house with it all day. And I had to go dig it out of the couch because that's where she took it off. This is the Aquamarine colorway, which was 9855, I believe. But yeah, so she loves, she walked around with it like this all day. If you look at my Facebook, I don't think I posted it to Instagram, but I posted it to Facebook. She was wearing this. So yeah, it's awful, but she loves it. So I got a god-awful bottle of yarn out of my stash.
Yay. Are there points for that was a god-awful one?
This was 14 points.
Well, that's pretty lame.
I know, I got a touchdown, an intercept, and a stash point for this.
What was the intercept for?
Field goal. I got a touchdown, a field goal. Touchdown is for 100 yards. Field goal is for anything under 100 yards, so 187. Touchdown and a field goal.
Oh, I see, okay.
Which is 7 points and 3 points, so that was 10 points. And then I got 4 points because it was from stash from more than a year ago.
Are you using any bags to get you points?
I didn't for this one because it literally never left the house. I mean, I sat at the kitchen table and knit it.
So you have to leave the house with a bag for it to count?
Not really. I mean, some of the other ones I'm using bags. But,
okay.
I mean, I didn't use a bag for this. So I wasn't going to cheat and say I did.
You're doing that whole honesty thing.
I am doing it.
Canadian.
I am doing it. I've got enough points already. I mean, I'm pretty happy
with
my point balance right now.
What was your point balance for your first project?
142 points.
Yeah.
Because that one I did get the intercept. It was my stripy socks. So they had 12 stripes, and I was able to claim that they
twice
went for the intercept. No, it was 12 stripes between the two socks. There were 6 each. 6 of each color on each sock. So I was able to get my 120 points for the intercept for that. I don't think I'm going to have time to do a second, because you're allowed 2 intercept projects every month.
You've got till
I know,
Wednesday?
but I'm trying to come up with something that has a 12.
Come on.
But I don't think anybody I know has the 12
Can
cable
it be
hat
a
pattern.
pattern name?
Well, I was going to try and do the 12 cable hat pattern, but I don't have that one, and I'm not willing to pay for it right now. So
we have the 16 cable.
Yeah.
Well, could it be modified?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. Like if you cast on.
I think it was. I don't remember how
This is why I don't wear hats. I give it to you.
I don't remember how the 16 cable.
I don't know. I knit my first cable project in a very, 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 very variegated yarn and hate it. So
now we know, don't we? Mm-hmm. We're not going to do the French can in a variegated yarn again, are we?
No. French can is on hold.
Yes, but you found a nice neutral yarn for it.
I did.
Yes, you did.
So that's phone number 2. And my daughter will be very happy to get it back. She didn't want to give it to me to bring today. She was very upset with me that I made her leave it behind when she went to her father's yesterday. So now she can have it back.
You would never seen it again.
I never would have seen it again, because every time she brings something to her father's, it never comes home. I had him at least hang up the French can I made her so it wouldn't get ruined. So I don't care if it lives there as long as it's hung up.
And treated with respect.
Because she tends to just leave things on the floor and then the cats pee on them and then knitted items get ruined. Yes. My cats do that too. If you leave clothes on the floor, they will pee on them. So try training 2 teenagers not to leave their clothes on the floor.
That's kind of an impossible feat.
And the third was kind of a teeny little... I decided I wanted to make some washcloths for Crystal to go with the other baby stuff I had knit her. So this is my first one.
Crystal, don't make a green washcloth. I have to tease her.
I knit Crystal a sweater. You guys saw it. It was the Sunnyside cardigan by Tanis Lavallee, and I made it for her and she saw it on Instagram, and she was like, "Oh, I love that." So she made herself one. Almost exactly the same.
And she was like, "Oh."
And I was like, but I made you one. Hers is actually prettier. She has the wooden buttons. But yeah, she hasn't gotten
She's
her
like,
baby
"That's what
stuff
I was
yet.
shopping for."
I know, it was
We
what I
didn't
was
even
shopping
know.
for, but I didn't get a chance to look. We froze again. We're frozen.
Again?
Woo!
No. Oh,
There we go. Let's hope that didn't freeze for you guys. We were frozen for about half a minute there. So anyway, yes, this is a smaller version of the grandmother's favorite dishcloth. I only did it to 40 stitches across, I think, instead of 49. So, and I did it on smaller needles, so it's a very, very dense little washcloth. I figured it would be perfect for a baby, and it's small enough that when he's a little bit older and can actually grab stuff on his own, he'll be able to hold on to this because it's not a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably get his fingers stuck in the little holes, but there we are.
Or a toe.
We'll see. I'm pretty sure Crystal is getting adept at bathing babies at this point.
I would imagine.
Apparently he's a night owl.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
really?
is not.
Oh, no, she is not. She's a morning person. She's one of those people who bounces out of bed, like, ready to take on the world.
But she'll
and this
bounce
kid
out of
is
bed
up
early
5
so she
hours
can have,
during the
like,
night.
quiet time to herself.
Yes.
Yes. That doesn't work with babies.
No.
Sorry, Crystal.
Well, no. Does not.
And Zach has always been an early riser, and I really wasn't, so that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
So this is out of basic handicrafter cotton, dishcloth cotton, in the mod green colorway, I believe. I got a big bag of mill ends of this, so I have tons. I've just been taking different colors, and so there will be more. I just didn't get it around to us. I was figuring I could crochet them because it'd be faster, but I don't like how the crocheted ones are turning out, so I'll be making more of these. So I'm just making a few of those for Crystal, and that was good for a whole 7 points.
7 points, 7 points.
It was less than 100 yards. I think this works out to about 60 or 70. So, because it was less than a full skein of handicrafter. And I got 4 points because it was old stash. So, 7 points in the pigskin party. And that's all my foes. What you working on?
Stuff.
Miss, we haven't heard from you yet.
Because I don't have foes.
I
I'm
know.
sorry.
It's okay.
Let me just finish my row. and
You're
I
allowed
will
to not
grab
have foes.
Foe.
Are you going to talk about a whip?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
Since I
she's
finished my
finishing
row.
her row.
I see. Sorry.
Just sitting here doing nothing, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do, 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 do.
Actually, I would like to show a very big accomplishment first.
Woohoo.
Marco Polo is back in rotation.
Woo! It's a
And-
Rhinebeck sweater. Rhinebeck's in 2.5 weeks.
Well, I stopped knitting on it because
3
I was
weeks.
doing a test knit for somebody, and it just was not working out, so I backed out of the test knit.
Don't
and just
test
said,
knit sweaters.
I'm like, nope, my brain can't wrap my brain around it. There's something I'm not getting. Everybody else is flying through the sweater, and I went, no, not doing this anymore.
Good.
So, this is my Marco Polo.
3 weeks, lady.
That's the front. Sorry, yeah, I know.
You could do that.
Yeah.
Because you're halfway down.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't see myself, so my stitch marker is right here. So I got a good 10 rows done. And I mean, the rows are really, really long. So right now I'm knitting back and I'm increasing on one row, then I'm doing stockinette for 19 rows, then increasing, then doing. So I taught myself to purl from the knit side so that I don't have to turn the sweater and
She
purl.
taught herself reverse knitting.
Oh.
Yes. And I'm
About
getting
time,
pretty
lady.
good at it.
About time, lady.
Love it.
I'm going to have to look at this.
I
took
watched a
class
video.
at Stitches, and it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to watch a video to refresh myself because it's been 3 years, but reverse knitting is the most awesome thing ever.
So yeah, Marco Polo by Ella Torrente. Torrente?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Just don't pronounce it Toronto.
I'm just trying to find a good picture of it because like I've written all over this thing.
That's the one you were using.
Right. There's the one I'm going to use. So that's it. It's a 2-color one, but I decided to do it in 3 colors. And also make sure that the cream doesn't end up on the ribbing at the sleeves or anywhere that it could get dirty. And this is being knit out of
Sorry.
Cascade 220 Superwash Sport, which doesn't have 220 yards on it.
No.
No. It has
Not even close.
136, I think.
Wow, that feels thicker than a sport.
No, it's a sport.
It's nice stuff, though.
It feels about the same as their stupid worsted does in the Superwash.
And this is called Burnt Orange, which really it isn't, because Sarah from the Canadian Knitter is knitting a sweater out of Cascade 220 in burnt orange, and it's actually
orange.
Yeah,
but I think that's more of a burnt orange than hers is.
Maybe.
Hers is more of a pumpkin color.
And this is on 4.5 millimeters, which is a US 7, and this is on my signature 32 inch.
So you need to take into account in the length that it's going to stretch.
Okay, so not make it the length that they told me to?
I would make it a little bit shorter than you're expecting it to, because it's superwash and it's being loosely knit. So keep that take that into account when you're
No, because it's
deciding
superwash, can it go in the dryer?
That I don't know.
I've never had knits come out of the dryer looking the same way they did going in.
Okay.
I've never put a knit in the dryer.
So basically,
I put acrylic in the dryer and it hasn't come out the same way.
I still put them on delicate wash. Like even if it's superwash, I don't use. And then I always lie them flat on a rack to dry.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
But it's still going to stretch a little bit because it's superwash.
Okay.
That's what superwash does.
Okay, great.
So just keep that in mind.
Great. No, it's a good thing.
So yeah, you get to knit
less knitting to get the length you want.
Exactly.
But how much shorter do you think?
Ooh, somebody else might have more experience than
If
me.
you know how much shorter I should knit it with superwash, please tell me in the thread.
I'm going to say
a couple inches.
I'm going to say a couple of inches. But yeah, somebody else might have more experience than I do,
And
because
I love that bag.
rarely use superwash.
This is living in my Ewe Sew An Sew bag. I love it. And it's getting a little small for it.
I was just thinking to myself, I really love that bag. I wish I had one. Wait, I do have one. Not sure where it is. That's one of the ones that's misplaced.
The other thing I'm knitting on is my gummy bear socks. Well, not my gummy bear socks. They are for my daughter because
I think they're awesome.
I think they're too girly for me.
Crazy pants.
I think so too. Crazy pants.
Well, and also I'm doing plain vanilla, and I'm like,
We're corrupting her.
I really should have done a pattern because
they're boring.
It's boring. 2 at a time. My marker is here, so you can see how much I got done.
Love the colors.
2.5 millimeter, which is a US 1.5.
A 2 point what?
2.5.
Yes, that's 1.5.
US
Sorry.
1.5.
Pay attention.
And it is living in my Stitched Together 4G bag, which is Amanda, who is Little Panda 518.
I was gonna say, I just tend to say it's my Amanda Panda bag, but yeah.
Amanda loves pandas.
She has a store name.
Yeah, Stitched Together 4G. So that's that.
Well, I can still call mine
really
the
love the
Amanda Panda
fabric.
bag because mine was pre-store, so.
Yes. I've got 2 more whips. As you may remember, last week
She drank the crazy juice.
I surprised Lynn on the podcast. I had a 5th square going, but I ripped it out because the indent of the square was on the wrong side.
You had said that
I had
you had
my
picked it up
marker in the wrong place. But this is the square that I had done last week, so I've done 3 more. And this is all yarn given to me by Mina from the Knitting Expat.
I know. I skeined all mine up the other day, and I'm really excited.
Squeeing with glee.
Yeah.
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 Because that's what happened with me with my thing. It's just like
I asked the wrong people to talk me off the ledge.
I would have told her not to. They all said, "Do it."
By the way, speaking of these crazy juice blankets, I'm very glad you showed us your little your skewer of
Skewer.
Just said the minions.
The minions are dancing.
Oh God, I was
So the
expecting
pattern I'm using is called Knitted Patchwork Recipe by Martine Ellis. This is the pattern. And my squares take, well, I cast on the number that she said to, and then I didn't like it. It was too small. So it was 32 stitches, so I went up to 48. And I like that size.
You gonna add your new mini to the bag?
Oh, yeah, I will. Eventually. And last but not least.
Oh, and you know what? I have. So you're using how much for those? 7 grams, did you say? 5? Okay. Now you've got a lot of minis, don't you?
Yes. I've got a lot of minis for my barn raising, and I've got a lot of minis.
Yeah. Excellent.
The other thing I'm knitting.
None of us are hurting for minis, I don't think.
Oh, believe me, I'm chasing minis.
Oh, are you?
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Those ones you gave me, which we'll talk about later, I'm very, very happy with. 'Cause I was
Innocent
running out.
Pleasure by. Where's the name of the person? I have it here, don't I?
You should.
Innocent Pleasure by
Iglin's
Crafts. This picture doesn't do it justice. I will input a picture from someone else's project page because it doesn't do it justice.
No, it's too dark.
Can't even see what it is.
No, you can't.
Let's see.
I mean, it's a very artistic picture, but it doesn't show off the pattern very well.
And the other picture, it's on a rock. You're like, oh.
And I'm actually going to be frogging mine because I was doing mine in a highly variegated yarn, and when I saw Sue's last night, I was like, oh.
I must love my sister because this is acrylic.
I'm knitting in acrylic.
It's loops and thread, and I keep hearing from everybody, it's so soft.
And why are you knitting with it?
Why am I knitting with it? Because she has twin
twins.
girls.
Oh, okay.
Little
and
twins.
I want her to be able to wash it. So, now that I can see the pattern, I'm kind of excited.
It's gorgeous.
It is.
And especially in that color.
So, yeah, I'm happy with it now. But, it might get frogged, because last night I realized I'm not slipping the first stitch of every row.
Doesn't matter.
Or, sorry, I'm slipping them knit-wise and not purl-wise, so I have all these bumps.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, just keep doing it.
I'll just keep going at this point.
And, yeah. Fine. It's knit on 5mm, which is a US 8.
I actually did that with my scarf. When I ripped it out, I was like, I'm not slipping the first stitch of each.
I forget is my problem. It's like the squares. I forget to slip it to give it that nice edge.
I just decided with the I do that when I have stitches to pick up, or when I don't think the edge is going to be stretchy enough.
Mm-hmm.
And for this scarf that I'm knitting, I just don't care.
It's living in my Bags by Awesome Granny bag. I love that bag.
It is an awesome bag.
Yeah, she gave one to me, Lynn, and Carrie.
Mm-hmm. Very
And
nice.
yeah, that's a big cake. It's worsted. So, I'm done.
My turn?
Sure.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
Socks on the floor.
Sock down, sock down. You didn't talk about your socks.
Right.
One more.
I was having a really bad day Thursday. Yeah. It was not good.
It was a rotten, no good day.
Yeah. So this is part of Stash, but I'm going to talk about it because, I had to cast on last night. Because Lynn came over and she brought me, this has been living in her That's
Yarn
the
it
yarn
down.
She brought me this. It's been living in her stash, but it's always been meant for me. I was going
Did not shatter, Kate.
I was going to buy it from her eventually, but she decided to cheer me up.
I decided a really bad day deserved some really nice yarn.
I've got some Lolipop in the Blarney colorway. Is that awesome or is that awesome? And oh, by the way, Garrett, you got Night Owl Fibers in the Luck of the Irish. This is pretty much the same, so I'm not jealous.
I saw him do that last night. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I saw that, and I'm like, yeah, no.
He's a mouthy one when he's not near Sue, isn't he?
Erin Go Bra, 4 rows of Lucky Charms, 8 rows of Shamrock, 4 rows of Lucky Charm. 75 superwash, superwash merino, 25 nylon. So, here's my sock. And the reason I cast it on is because I did not have 2.5s available of my own needles. This one here destashed this needle. And it was just sitting right there beside the yarn. And the girls are like, do it, Yeah, you guys are no help. Casting on more things. What are you thinking?
Are your bags over here expanding? Is there any space on the shelf?
No, there's no space on the shelf, and not all
Those
the bags
are
are
on
there.
hold.
These are all on hold?
Some of them are on hold, yeah. So this is what I'm doing. Toe up. And I'm doing one. As you know, normally I do two. I'm doing one because, was it last week or the week before I showed the curved needles I have? I want to eventually put it on there so I can only do one at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and try those out.
Yeah, so
they're intriguing.
it's like fluffy.
Can I
Squishy.
touch?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
So, thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome.
Now I can let you go. Because, you know, stealing the show.
Not that you can see what I'm knitting, because dark shirt, dark hat. But I'm on my second Barley.
It's a special Barley.
This one's for my son, because I showed him the first one, and I said, is that a hat you'd wear? And he's like, yeah. I said, not in this color, Zach.
He had to see past the color.
I said, I can make you one to match the sweater I knit you. This is the same yarn. Because I still have 2 skeins left after I finish his sweater. So he's like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. I don't have a hat. I've knit him like 5 hats.
Of course he doesn't have a hat.
Anyway, so I told him I would knit him a Barley. And he was like, well, I don't want you to have to knit another one. And I was like, well, I was planning on making 7 or 8 of them. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
That reminds me of the Raabe. If you're ever so inclined,
Yeah,
and
you
you
have
want a
nothing to
maybe.
do. Yeah. See, I've trained them well, my man.
You certainly have.
So yeah, he was all excited to get a hat that would match his sweater because he loves his sweater. Still wears it apparently. Well, not during summer, obviously, but it's also at his father's house. So
Hung
I say,
up?
I have no idea. It's acrylic, so it's not quite a big deal, but
Yeah.
yeah. So this is Barley number 2, Tin Can Knits. It is out of Patents Canadiana, again, because I happen to have a bunch of this, in the Timber colorway, which is a dark brown. It's the same yarn I made his sweater out of. His flax, which was also Tin Can Knits. So it'll match the pattern and the color. And it's on US, the ribbing was on US, whole thing's been on US 6, because I forgot to change needles. Which is okay, because the other one's a little bit baggy.
Touchy? Okay.
So he'll be happier with this. Apparently I forgot to change needles, so the whole thing's been on US 6, which is a 4mm. Meh. The only other thing that, and it's living in my Amanda Panda bag, that I can call it that because I didn't buy it from her shop. She made it for me before the shop existed, so ha ha ha. But this is from Amanda, who is Stitched Together 4G on Etsy, and who is the Stitching You and More podcast. Yay, I got it!
She did it!
Sarah was having trouble remembering the name of the shop last night. I feel vindicated.
We love you, Amanda.
But I will never forget the name of the shop again, because now I know why.
There's meaning behind it.
Yes.
Very special meaning.
Yes, it means a lot to her, because she is the 4th generation of people
Crafty.
in her family who have made and sold crafts, and she and her mother do a lot of crafting together, and it's a family thing.
And the name of her bags is awesome. One's an only child.
Because I believe she is, isn't she?
Yes.
Okay. Lucky girl. Sorry.
And
Was that out loud?
Hope your siblings aren't watching.
Selma, you know what an only child's all about.
I do.
You're
There are
dealing-
advantages to it at times, and there are disadvantages too.
Yeah, my sister-in-law's going through that right now.
When they get older, you have to deal with stuff.
Yep. And the other day I was like, why don't I have a sibling to share this with? But anyway.
Anything else?
Yeah. So the other project I'm working on is living in my Sue bag. My Route 66 bag, which is one of a kind, and you can't have it.
I feel like Nat King Cole should start singing now.
I know, right?
Route 66.
I love that song. So,
this is your cloud of joy.
yes, this is my... Would you
Cashmere.
like to rub it up against your face?
100%.
Is this that cashmere stuff?
Yes.
Look at her go.
Guess where you're going to be heading at Rhinebeck, huh?
Which, should we introduce her to Carl?
I think
Yes.
we should. So, Carl, I've been using the yarn, and it's fantastic.
beautiful.
It is.
I've got about an inch of my cowl done, but yeah.
I'll get into the pattern before I get into the review of the yarn, because once I get into the review of the yarn, there will be lots of unintelligible cooing
and drool coming down.
Yeah. So this is the Checkerboard lace scarf by Purl Soho. Sorry for the, I think it's a tea stain. Sorry about that. That's what it looks like. And I had started it with the full cast on of 58 stitches. And I had made it through an entire pattern repeat. And I decided I didn't like it. It was too wide. It was more of a stole than a scarf. And I really just wanted a scarf. So I frogged the whole thing. And I was amazed that this yarn frogged beautifully. Because it's 100% cashmere. And I recast it on with the 38 stitches. I will have to block it gently because the edges do curl. The selvage
By blocking,
edges.
she means me.
And why gently?
Because it's 100% cashmere and it's not very...
You don't want to stretch, it'll rip apart.
It'll rip.
Oh.
It's that delicate.
But, I mean, you can knit with it, but I wouldn't really try to stretch it out.
Mm-hmm.
So just a gentle blocking to straighten out the edges, because honestly this lace pattern in this yarn is so fantastic that it barely needs to be stretched out to be seen. So that's 3 pattern repeats in. Sorry. And
It's beautiful.
this yarn, I swear, is like knitting with air. There are times I can't feel it running through my fingers.
I called my project knitting with butter.
There are times you can't feel it running through your fingers while you're knitting. It's amazing. And the stitch definition is fantastic. And
I think this new line will do really well.
love
what
it,
was
Carl.
it called again?
Xanadu.
It's Xanadu.
Xanadu,
It is
yeah.
Bijou Base and Ranch Xanadu. 100% cashmere. They call it a light fingering. I'd call it a heavy lace. Potato patata.
Of course, now I'm thinking Olivia Newton-John.
But that was Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong.
For Xanadu?
Oh, no, I was thinking the potato potato thing.
Oh. You're right, I hadn't gotten there yet.
Minion down.
I was still thinking Xanadu, and you were already on to potato potato.
See, I've never actually heard Xanadu, so...
No, come on.
What?
You didn't do aerobics to Olivia?
No,
I feel
I
like
was
there was
5.
Oh,
I
really?
did.
We're a little older.
I did
older.
let's get physical as a lip sync, but
See,
myself.
That one,
in skin tight pink satin pants.
the best episode
Oh, I
of
need to
Glee.
see that.
I stopped watching Glee around season...
Sorry,
the end of season
we're
4.
like off.
I stopped watching Glee when Corey Monteith died. I couldn't take it anymore. So, but the best episode of Glee, hands down, is the one where Sue Sylvester, who is Jane Lynch is the actress, and Olivia Newton-John redid the video for Let's Get Physical. I love Jane Lynch to death, and that video was beautiful. So
yeah, she doesn't do anything for me.
that was probably my favorite episode of Glee. Well, I've loved her in everything I've seen her in, so I just love her.
So, anyways, moving along.
Right.
But anyway,
Enough with
and the minions just keep popping up.
They just keep on going.
I love this yarn. I love it. And if I have the funds when I go to Rhinebeck, I will be buying more because, oh my god. This comes in a 50-gram skein and has 100 yards in it. 400 yards in it.
And Carl graciously gave us each a skein.
400! It's crazy pants. It's definitely lace weight, Carl. But, oh, so soft. And this is going to be against my neck and my face. And it's
Wonderful.
mine. I don't care how much my mother likes it.
As Carrie would say, you're going to have to pry it out of her cold, dead hands.
Yes. Mine. My daughter can't have it. She can't borrow it. Got that, Sky? No touchy.
You'd be lucky. You'd be lucky if you could look at it.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
it's absolutely beautiful.
So those are my only 2 whips this week because I'm frogging the, as I said, I'm frogging the Innocent Pleasure shawl, and I just haven't touched the Retreat one by Susan B. Anderson. I've been working on this.
Mm-hmm. I don't blame you.
And I'm a cast on socks this afternoon because I'm going a little bit crazy with no socks. Remember how I said was
Yes.
last week that I would never knit socks again? Yeah, I kind of want to knit socks now.
Yeah.
Well, I seem to be on a bit of a sock phase. I've got 2 socks on the needles.
Oh, I've got more. I've got 4.
Yeah, but I rarely have one sock on the needle.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, one question I wanted to put out there, I mean, I know what you would say, but one thing I find with the socks that I've made in the past, like some of them, I almost brought it and then I completely forgot. A pair of socks I made for my husband. Like, they're in shreds. Like, he's tough on his socks, but they're in absolute shreds. And I thought, you know, it's so important to find a yarn that is nice to knit with, but that also
is
lasts,
a workhorse.
Right? Because, I mean, really, I wear my socks all winter. These are not for, you know, just for looking at. Like, I wear them every day for 6 months or about.
This is why people think Canada's buried under snow.
I'm sorry. But I start wearing them in October in my shoes.
Yes.
Right? And then I end probably at the beginning of May or something like that. Like, I just wear, because I don't find them too hot.
Neither do I.
They're just comfortable.
Yes, yeah, I
all
find
the
them too
time.
hot after about 5 minutes.
No.
So what I want to know is, what are people's opinions of a good yarn that's lasting?
For socks.
Mm-hmm.
I know you think I'm going to say Juliana's.
However, do you have any socks that have been around that
My
long
father
to be able to test them?
is actually tougher on his socks than anybody I've ever met because he is diabetic and he gets open sores on his feet and they have to be washed in the washing machine and tossed in the dryer. And he's really hard on his socks. And to be honest, I knit all his socks out of brunette socks, which is acrylic and nylon.
Yeah. No, that's not good. It's got to be a wool blend.
Okay. That was my only suggestion.
Yeah.
I don't wear my socks very often, so I can't say anything. I know nothing. Teresa seems to like the, what the heck was it called? Boot sock stuff. Give me a sec here. I'll check my stash.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm just putting it out there for you guys too. If you happen to have any suggestions of whether it's indie dyer or, you know, bigger company, but I do think I want a wool blend. I'm not an acrylic person.
Keep talking.
So if you do, post it in the thread in the group. I'm really curious to know. Maybe for this episode. Do you have an opinion at all?
Unit. I hate this mouse.
You need
It
to
was
put
the
whole-
SR Kurtzer On Your Toes DK. It makes it's thicker sock. That's what Teresa
Teresa
swears by it. She
Okay.
loves that stuff.
Good to
so
know.
let's go back to the camera here if I can.
All right. Do you have an opinion, Sue?
There we go.
Bittersweet.
Really?
I think it's
They've
a
worn
good
that
yarn.
well?
Yeah.
You better get some
I've
when
got
we're at
2 pairs, and I
I'm
have
back.
a third skein that I just realized I was looking for something. I was looking for yarn to put on the background, and all this yarn is Juliana's yarn, self-striping. Because I change it up every time, but I like bittersweet. It's soft, but it seems to wear
Super
nicely.
soft.
But she's stopping to stop.
Yeah, we need to stop talking about her. We're not going to be able to get any when we go to run.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Don't spread the word.
And I think too, like, where is it wearing? Is it in his heels, his toes?
Well, and not only him, in my socks, like I've got a couple of socks that I made, and they wear on the sole of the foot.
Oh, did you ever think about doing like textured on the bottom?
Yeah, and you know what? I forgot to do it with the ones that I'm supposed to be showing you guys, but yeah, I think I need to do that. But my husband's socks are just hilarious. Like, oh my gosh, they're in shreds.
And you can't fix that.
No, and honestly, it was not really a great yarn to use, but I wasn't really thinking about that at the beginning when I started making socks. So now I'm kind of more about, you know, I want socks that are going to last. Yeah. So anyway, so I happen to be knitting 2 pairs of socks. So I brought part of one last time, and I finished the first one.
Beautiful.
It is, she paints, it's so amazing. You can see more of the, like, what's the type of pooling that's happening on there. This is she paints silk bamboo, and the pattern is the Wendy D. Johnson diagonal lace socks, and it's from this book here, and I believe I showed this last time as well. I've made a few of the patterns in here already, And it's great. So I started the second one, and which I've been knitting on during the episode. And I've been holding it in my, I love this bag. This is my little box bag that I got off of Etsy from a woman whose shop is called Yellow Stitch Bags. It's got cameras on it. So that's one pair of socks. The last time I was on, I got a skein of Juliana. Speaking of Juliana, is there an episode where we don't mention Juliana?
I don't think there's been one yet.
We swapped, and Lynn gave me a skein called Frog Pajamas.
I'm kind of regretting that now, but she still has it in the shop, so I can always buy more.
Oh, and look at that. The colors are
they're close.
Close. It's not quite a peacock blue. It's more of a teal.
Yeah, there's a purple and a teal.
Yeah. And so I'm making socks for my husband. And what I've decided
there is a blue there too.
Yeah, and it's a rib. Let's see if I can get this going here. It's a rib, and then every second rib I do a mock cable on every 7th row. So it adds enough interest for me.
Overachiever.
That, I beg your pardon?
Overachiever.
Yeah, with Sean's socks, I'm doing the 2x2 rib, but every 5 rows, I do 5 rows of stockinette, 2x2 ribs. So that he'll still have stretch, but it's not going to drive me insane by doing ribbing the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. And so actually, I realized the other day, I'm like, ooh, I'm not sure where to start the gusset. And so I pulled out a sock. I taught my husband how to knit. I feel like everything today is about 3 years ago. It's like my daughter. She always says, when I was 4. Everything happened when she was 4.
When she was 4.
She's how old now?
She's 8 and everything. She's like, remember when I was 4? Doesn't matter if it was last year or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, about 3-4 years ago, I taught him how to knit. He wanted to learn how to knit. And so he first made a scarf for my son, and then he made a cowl for his nephew. And
but isn't the scarves, he did something special in the scarf?
He did. He actually, he got amazing very quickly. He put a Y by doing the opposite, like reverse stockinette. He put a Y into the scarf because my son's name starts with a Y. So, and then he made this very sort of, with baubles and cables, this...
So I don't even do baubles.
Overachiever married to an overachiever.
Baubles and cables, kind of like a runner for his office.
But you're both artistic.
Yeah, and he's the kind of person who will do things just for artistic purposes. I tend to make things functional.
You complete each other.
My husband and I met doing pottery. We were both doing pottery.
Yes.
And I made bowls and cups and teapots, and he made vases. You know. And he made some functional things too, but he just tended to make things
pretty.
He tended to make things that are just more artistic for that sake.
Yeah.
Whereas I tended to make things that were functional.
He is driven by aesthetics.
Yeah. So here is his first sock. And I'm using it as a guide for this other sock. And it's made out of 3 Irish girls, which you guys
might as well start him off on the good stuff.
Now, I did... Yeah, really, eh? I did help him by doing the heel and starting it, because it's a toe-up sock. But
life is too short for crappy sock yarn.
You're quite right. So there you go. So I'm using this sock, as a guide for this sock.
She's used to being in the middle.
So that is my second work in progress. My third work in progress.
I can't see the time.
58.
My third work in progress is a vest that I started, but I've just finished the ribbing. That's as far as I've gotten. This is the grandfather vest, which I believe I brought in last time as well. And it's in kind of a navy blue. And it's from... This is out of
They're both
Diamond...
forwards.
Sorry.
Diamond... what is it called?
Diamond Luxury.
Diamond Luxury.
I just flipped the page over.
Diamond,
really?
Diamond something.
Diamond Luxury.
Merino Luxe.
Collection Merino Luxe.
There you go. I made my coda out of it. Whoops, wrong book. And now I am making... Let's see. I believe I showed this last time, but just in case.
We didn't do the draw,
It's from
did
the
we?
24/7 book.
We have to.
By
We'll do the draw, I
Veronique
promise.
Avery, and it's this vest here.
I love her patterns.
Yeah. I've been eyeing this for a long time.
Kate?
Veronique Avery.
Yeah.
Oh, Veronic, sorry.
And it's with a K, not a Q.
I heard Kate.
which is what I heard
I
before.
thought you said Kate Atherley.
No.
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't really buy any yarn
She's
in the
just
last
riffraff.
few weeks, but I did buy a couple of bags, one of which arrived yesterday.
That's pretty.
This is by the Fawn and the Fox. who's also
That's
got-
her color that she likes.
Yeah, this is the ochre thing.
It's almost into the green that Sue likes.
Yeah, it's just, I just loved it. And when I went onto her Etsy page, I was just like, oh, buy.
The burgundy goes very well with it in the zipper.
It does. And it's her medium bag, but it's quite large.
That's a big bag.
It is a big bag. And she's got her own podcast as well.
Oh, look at her little tag.
Isn't
That's
that
so
cute?
cute.
Little tag, it's got her name on one side, but on the other side it's got essentially her logo, which is a fawn and a fox. So, anyway, that's where it's being housed. And don't call me overachiever. One more time.
You know it's because I love you.
I'm just teasing. I've made some progress on my blanket.
Major overachiever.
So when did you start said blanket?
I don't know. When did I start it?
Maybe 2 months ago? Maybe? The emphasis on the maybe?
June. I'm going to say June.
I don't think it was that long, but okay.
You think it was July?
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking it was...
Had I started it the first time I came on?
I don't know.
If it wasn't the first time, it was the next time, which would have been early July.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's getting there.
Move this way.
Ooh!
Sue, hold that corner.
Yeah. So I'm always chasing mini skeins because
No, she's not an overachiever. Not at all.
well, you know what? It is that crazy juice, eh? And it's so. I mean, once you start, you just can't stop. It's just.
I know.
And I started dyeing my own yarn. Just here are 2 squares that I dyed up for fun. Little mini. Oh, and I had minis for you of this, but I don't think they came. So you'll be getting some minis of my dye.
We'll get to that in stash acquisition. I got minis.
Yeah. So it just keeps going and going and going and going, and I just can't seem to stop. And I love it.
So what are you going to do when it's finished?
Am I going to start another one?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, well, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised either. We'll see. You know what? I saw a top made out of mini squares for a little girl, like a tank top. And I thought, that could be fun.
She's already planning.
All right. That is it for Works in Progress.
Let's do the draw before we forget.
Yes, because we forgot at the beginning.
So we have the draw for the spring into summer cowl.
Which we totally forgot to do. Sorry.
Yeah, we did. It's like
Somebody PM'd me and said, did this draw ever get done?
Well,
no, it
oops.
didn't. Oops.
Congratulations to the people who actually finished, because I can tell you.
Do you want to pull that up? So
I don't
we
know which way I
had
gotta do this. I didn't
49
finish.
posts,
Yes.
which means there were 48 of you who finished. And let me tell you, there were some beautiful... Oh.
Wait a minute. There, we're back into it.
Ah.
So there.
So there were 49 posts, and post number 1 was mine, I believe.
I'm pretty sure.
So we're doing a random number generator from number 2 to number 49. And
3 to 49 because 2 was deleted.
Okay.
It was chatter.
Right. 3. Oh, I think it was because somebody put their whip in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, so let me get this. So, 3 to 49, and I hope you can see that.
Yes.
And I'm going to hit generate.
She can't actually see the screen. I can.
Generate a number for me?
Yes.
43.
So 43 is on page 2. I hate this mouse. Hate it with a passion.
I don't have problems with it.
Yes, you do. You have problems with it all the time.
Oh, that's a neat shawl. Ooh.
Shh. Stop that. 43 is from Mama, Maamah,
Okay.
who is... I can't get it to go. Mah.
You just have to hover over their name.
I tried that.
There's no name.
Nope,
There's
no name.
M-A...
Somebody from Indiana, so hi.
So if you are post number 43, who is Mama, Maamah, please
Who
contact...
posted a very nice shawl.
Yeah, please contact me, CraftyKnitter7, and I will work with you to figure out what kind of bag you want, markers, and pattern, because you win all three of those things.
And she's got this lovely red and other colors shawl. So, fortunately, it wasn't 44 because that one got deleted. So, there you go. So, congratulations. Very nice.
Okay, you can close that. So we just wanted to get that done.
Yeah.
Because we felt kind of bad. We forgot to do it.
So what is next? We need to...
Stash.
We're over an hour.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer the question next week? Or do you want to answer it now?
Well,
What's the question?
yeah, I suppose we can answer the question.
Where would you... From Jennifer Burchell, where would you recommend buying yarn online? Because she said she lives 2 hours away from a local yarn store. So she's looking for suggestions on where to buy yarn.
And where does she live?
I think it's in the East Coast.
Yeah, she was
Canada.
in the Maritimes.
Yeah.
Honestly, my online go-to for name brand yarn is Webs.
Same here.
Mainly because they have bulk discounts.
You can also go to MrYarn.com.
Never tried that one.
He's okay too.
I shy away from nitpicks just because of the whole credit card fiasco a couple of years ago, and I've never
but they
ordered from
take
them.
PayPal now, so it's. But yeah,
I have a problem with the way they handled all that, so I just won't order from them. But that's just.
And
me.
I mean, if all else fails, Etsy, indie dyers.
Yes, if you're not looking for name brand yarn, absolutely hit up Etsy. There are all kinds of excellent indie dyers. That's where Juliana does her business. That is where Night Owl Fibers, all of the yarns that we present to you guys who are indie dyers are all Etsy people. Almost all. Penguin Soup isn't. But, because she's on, what the heck is
Store
that called?
Envy.
Yeah, that thing. Store Envy.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm not a fan of Store Envy either. I love her shop, but I hate Store Envy.
Yeah.
They keep sending an email. Radar service, radar service, radar service. Leave me alone.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. Webs is Webs is the main go-to, and if you buy a certain quantity of a particular yarn, you get even more discounts.
There's discounts. They have sales, they have closeouts, they have all kinds of really, really nicely priced stuff.
Yeah.
They have really, really high-end yarns. They have really, really low-end yarns. They've got everything. And it's not hard to find. It's yarn.com.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing right now I find is that our Canadian dollar is... It means
In
that
the
you're not
toilet.
really getting a discount, but they have a fantastic selection of yarns. So if you happen to want to get a whole bunch of different yarns,
Yeah.
it's worth it.
And on Etsy, you can choose to only search people, like stores that are in Canada. So save a little bit on the exchange rate that way.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do, is I tend to search for stores that are in Canada.
Yeah.
You can even search stores that are around the East Coast if you want to
Yep.
support, your
Local
business.
Because let me tell you, in the East Coast, you've got some pretty phenomenal indie dyers.
You've got
Yes.
Art Diana, who used to be local to us.
You've got Art Diana, you've got Turtle Purl,
Yep.
you've got Handmaiden, and
Yep.
you've got, what's the daughter? Or is Handmaiden the daughter? Handmaiden is the
There's another one.
Fleece Artist.
Fleece
is the
Artist,
other one.
that's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
their mother-daughter.
But you've got two of our locals who just moved there recently.
And some of the best darn dyers in the world, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoebe Nautilus. I wanted to show it again.
The shawl or the pattern?
Just the pattern,
Okay.
and remind people that there's a coupon code to get the pattern for $1 until Halloween.
Yes, and I'll
So,
definitely be getting it.
It is by T. Gale Designs, who is our friend Teresa Seasons.
That's Teresa in the picture.
That's Teresa in the picture.
Doing
and
a
that's
Selma.
the pattern.
Yes.
She pulled a Selma in the
So
picture.
if you want an amazingly well-written pattern that, I mean, she's outdone herself.
This one is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's math based. She's a mathematician. And that's part of what she loves about knitting is the math involved and what you can basically do to represent math in knitting. Mm-hmm. And this is really amazing. You end up with barely any cast off. Like there's one stitch to cast off.
You're picking up a lot of stitches, but you don't end with a lot of stitches.
Yeah. But I mean, the picking up, it really looks amazing. And I can't wait to give this a go. I'm going to have to buy some yarn because I don't have anything in my stash that's suitable for that.
So, this just a reminder that if you use the code 2Tangled, all capital letters, you will get the pattern for $1 until Halloween. Do it.
She's also the lady who has the one side toe decrease pattern.
Yeah, and she's publishing it's already on Raabe, but it's going to go live this afternoon, and I just wanted to show people quickly. It's called the Turbo Hat. She has mitts coming out with the same pattern later in October.
I'm actually planning on casting this on very soon.
Wait, let me see.
Yep. Yeah, she wasn't there last night. Isn't it pretty?
Yeah, so it's called the Turbo Hat. Look for it later this evening or tomorrow. It should be live.
I have to say that's totally Teresa.
Yeah.
I can see it on her head.
So, yeah, I just want to talk about those because, before we get into stash, we have a giveaway that is open in our group, and we will draw the winner on October 3rd, and it is for a bag from Amanda.
Who is Stitched Together 4G.
Yep, and you will get to choose your pattern. And this is called an only child bag. It's sock size. So that is in the thread, in the group. Go into the thread and follow the prompt. You must be a member of the Ravelry group to participate. If we draw your name and it says guest under your name, you cannot win, and we will draw another one. One post per person and no chatter in the thread. So, stash.
I really like her paracord.
Yeah, it doesn't shrink. Paracord.
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't fray easily either.
No, and it's glued on the ends.
Oh, look at her.
Yeah. So, very, very good quality bags. You really, really want to win this, or, use it.
Because she practiced for a long time before she opened the shop. I have one of her earlier efforts, and it's a really nice bag. I love my owls.
Stash.
I have stash.
Go ahead.
Yay.
Because
I'm super thrilled.
We need to.
First of all, Selma brought me a little bag of minis. So
more to come.
A lot of these are Juliana's. Because
Yeah.
I could tell, because that's Hidden Rainbow. I could tell. It was Juliana's. So I was very thrilled about that. And I got my order. It came. I got my order from Night Owl Fibers. Rachel, you're awesome.
It came to my house, and I'm like, your yarn is at my house. You have to come over.
Beautiful colors.
Yay!
Covet.
This is the one that I drooled over in the shop. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Sherlock?
I loved
the
the pumpkin patch, but this is the Sherlock Holmes self-striping. And the second I saw it, I was like, that must be mine. Needs to be mine. And now it is.
Some, and we can maybe knit it at the same time.
Yes. You better hurry up.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, she dyes it to order. Once you order it, she dyes it up.
This other one is beautiful too.
Yes, this one is gorgeous. When Sue got it, I was like, "Oh, I'm so jealous." Sorry, the tag got caught, and now the stripe is coming apart. So I'll have to put that back on somehow.
I have to say, it didn't.
This is
speak
the
to
pumpkin
me.
patch.
That
I
one-
love greens and oranges.
Well, it didn't speak to me when I saw it online, but seeing it in real life.
Pet it. I know you want to.
I know I want to.
I want her beach one too. It's a multicolored, sort of beachy, summery type colors. I really want that one too. So, sadly, my budget does not permit me to buy all the yarn I want.
Well, don't think it permits any of us to buy all the yarns we want.
Well, I don't know. Some people seem to have that ability, but not me.
If you have the finances to back it, go for it.
Yes,
we will
I am.
We will drool.
Openly envious and very, very happy for you.
Yeah,
So,
although something that stops me, in addition to the funds, is I want to actually knit it.
yes,
Yeah.
And if you end up with 3,000 skeins,
You can't knit
you're
it.
not going to knit it.
And Rachel is so awesome. She sent me a few little packets of tea.
Mm. Is that the Yogi restful sleep bedtime?
Yeah, yes.
I like that stuff.
I've never tried their tea, so I'm looking forward to it. She sent me this teeny little mini skein. This is rosebuds and lavender.
Lovely.
And it came with this little stitch marker, which has a little, sorry, I can't show it to you clearly enough. It's a teeny little pumpkin. Because I'm sort of stuck here. But it's so pretty. It's pinks and purples and white, and it's so squishy. Is it the same stuff? Yeah, it's the same stuff. Because it feels so much softer.
Yeah.
But, oh, well, I think, no, this isn't the same stuff.
not.
This is, yeah, it says it's merino. But that doesn't look like, this is 80-20. And this is 75-25. So it's a slightly different base. I thought it looked different. But, oh, Rachel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very happy. And that's all my stash.
Beautiful saturation of colors.
Oh, and she sent me this cute little card with embossed owls on it. Aren't they cute? Sorry. I'm done squeeing now.
Stash.
All right.
Oh, darn it.
Falling apart.
So one thing I got was with the yarn that Lynn got me. She bought me some chocolate macaron tea from David's Tea.
I need to smell. Oh no, it's closed.
It's sealed. I was like, David's Tea.
She's like, do you like coconut? I'm like, oh, yeah.
I keep forgetting that she's a big coconut
I
person.
have one by him or them or whatever called Cocoa Mint. It's kind of a coconut mint. And I wonder if the chocolate coconut will probably be really yummy too.
My daughter surprised me with a little something. She was out shopping with her friend and said she had to come home with this for me. Because it's me. One in a minion. And it's got little minion eyes around the whole thing. It's awesome.
That really hurt. Remind me not to do that again.
The other thing I got was from our friend Jen, and I'm going to say this on live air, Jen, and I know you're not going to like me, but her name is Stormcoast on Ravelry, but Andrea calls her Stormy. And I think that's just the cutest.
Andrea was like, we're going to make that your nickname.
Okay. And she's like, okay, fine. So she sent me 4 minis.
Awesome.
Minis, they're 20 grams each. One of them she thinks is Noro. No, you don't get these. No.
Let me see.
But that one's pretty.
I don't care. They're not yours.
I don't think. Oh, it might be.
And
Well,
she
like
sent
Nora.
me some tea because she knows I don't like mint. So she went out and bought tea so that I could have a lavender, tulsi, caffeine-free herbal tea. Organic. Which is that. So thank you very much, Jen. Stormy. I got my swap package for the Game of Thrones in the Yarntasia Ravelry group. And let me tell you.
It came from a good ways away.
Australia.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm super impressed with my
Oh my
swap.
goodness.
It's called Sansa's Tears. And she told me what kind of stones they are, and I can't
Looks like
remember.
turquoise.
No, it's something else.
How light?
They're gorgeous, and she said she loved them so much she had to make herself a set.
Oh, stunning.
And Sansa is one of the characters that I love, so she kind of named things for characters that I love and hate. She gave me some embroidery floss, and she called it embroidery floss for Cersei, because I hate Cersei. She gave me this gorgeous pin cushion. I wanted to start using it, but I wanted to show you guys first. I absolutely love it. And then she gave me the pin, the Hand of the King, which is basically
Great.
the king's, right-hand man, which I thought is so thoughtful.
This is also all going right over my head because I've never seen Game of Thrones.
She got me, what she said was, I'm sorry I'm a little bit light on the sweet things, but I hope the rest of the package makes up for it. Yeah. So I've got cherry ripe,
Ooh,
ripe,
okay.
and
Sorry.
dark milk
That makes more
chocolate
sense than rice.
Cadbury. So 2 chocolate bars.
That cherry one I've never seen.
No, neither
That's
have I.
because it's from Australia.
Yeah. Cool.
Then, because I love...
Be thankful she didn't send Vegemite.
I like the... I like
Minions
the
thought that was funny
wolves. She sent me a wolf bag with glasses.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And then the last thing, which is like my favorite, she knit me a cowl.
Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, it's coming up more. There you go. There are the colors. Barely
Yeah.
close.
And I love it because it's got buttons.
Beautiful.
Yep. And that is Letitia. So I want to thank you, Letitia. I really, 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 really love it. I am blown away by the thought put into the package. So. And lastly are some stitch markers. Some charms that I bought. They're going to go in the shop soon. I will post a picture in the Ravelry group. This is it's a little Christmas tree. I don't think you're going to be able to make it out. It's like a 3D Christmas tree. I bought snowmen for a zipper pull. I thought they were smaller than they are, but no.
Sorry, you bought these where?
I bought them through Bohemian Findings on Etsy, and she's from PEI. Because I'm trying to source Canadian for my stitch markers, and my rings are from Titan Metal Crafts. So I got those. Then I bought little witch hats to make stitch markers from. Look at these little
Those
hats.
are adorable.
You're not going to be able to see them. And the other one is tiny little pumpkins.
To match the one, well, similar to the one that Rachel
Similar.
sent me.
So that's it. Go ahead, because I know we're running late.
Your turn.
Really? I have no yarn
Okay.
new, except that I walked in here and then suddenly got yarn. Like, yarn! Lots of minis! Which is great because I've run out of minis. I actually dyed some yarn because I needed some more minis.
This bunch here is a package of minis I had actually bought online. There were 2 sets, and there were so many doubles in the sets that you got all the doubles.
Look at all
I was
those
like, she
fun
gave you
colors.
that? Oh,
Yeah, that's great. And they're all fantastic colors for the blanket bushes for my daughter, right? So there's just lots and lots and lots and lots. So guess what I'm going to be doing? And then a whole bunch of these, like, little leftovers.
Yeah, those
So
are the
I
ones
can
that I
match.
couldn't make another flat out of.
Yeah. And I'll match them. This is great. It's going to extend. And I've got some too, so I can...
Because
put them
she's
together.
crocheting, I figured she could use smaller bits and just stripe them.
Yeah.
It's easier to weave
So
the ends
thank
in
you.
and crochet.
Guess what I'm going to be doing between now and the next time I show up?
the
then-
blanket will be finished.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I showed you the bag from the Fawn and the Fox. That just arrived yesterday. And then the only other thing that I got was the Vogue knitting that just came out. I'm a bit of a Vogue knitting person. I've got many of them. And one thing that was neat, I don't know if any of you watch the Sockmatician podcast, but he's got a pattern in here. Nathan Taylor.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. He did this pattern. It's a double knitting pattern.
Wow.
And he talked about it on his podcast. So I thought, that's great.
Because we've got her addicted to podcasts now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sue got her addicted.
Yeah, but there are a few sweaters in here that...
She found Sockmatician on her own. Don't blame me for that one.
Yes, but she wasn't watching podcasts.
There's
so
a
you
whole
came
section on teal and green, by the way.
Huh.
Anyway, there are a few really lovely things. And look at this sweater. It's
Because
got
that's not my color at all.
beautiful detail on
Even the
that
cover's tealy green.
sweater. Yeah, there's a whole section. In fact,
I
it's
like.
called
What is that on the front?
The Teal Deal, it's called.
That is beautiful.
It's sort of a... there. It's sort of a shawly thing. So anyway, lots of lovely patterns in here. I often like the fall editions. And then there's some weird stuff that's kind of like they went back to the 80s, man.
It's
the only
Vogue.
thing
There's
the
always
only
a
thing
couple
that's
of weird
missing
patterns in Vogue.
in this one here, the only thing that's missing is the shoulder pads.
On the leg warmers?
Okay?
Yeah. Shoulder pads and leg warmers.
But there's a whole section on double knitting, so if you're interested in venturing into double knitting,
And
then-
Chuck Taylor's.
and there is some interesting stuff in here.
Wow.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
I think that's it. Grab the show
I hope
notes
that's
and
it.
go over them. Yeah, that's pretty much
Coupon
it.
codes.
Coupon codes. Go to the Ravelry group. They're in the coupon codes thread because we've got a lot of them now.
I actually had to laugh because I was going through the episodes on YouTube yesterday and looking at the comments and stuff because every night I forget to do it on a regular basis. So last night I was looking through the comments and replying to a bunch of comments, and this one lady was like, "I'm not on Ravelry. Is there any other way to do this?" And I'm like, "Why are you not on Ravelry?"
How could you not be on Ravelry?
While she was doing this, my phone kept going bzz,
I'm sorry.
bzz, because I
Don't
get
bring
all...
your phone to bed.
Because somebody else is
I
up
know,
at
I
2
heard my
o'clock
phone
in the
to bed, too.
morning.
I was actually up till 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So anyways, we're recording next week, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking because I know Rob's here.
And are we recording from Rhinebeck?
Probably.
So that'll probably be the next time I'm on. Unless there's free time before then.
We'll try to convince Elizabeth too. She usually sits in the background and laughs at us.
Yeah. So that's it. We're an hour and 20 some minutes into this. So we well, it runs long when it's three of us. It's just the way it is.
And I talk a lot, so.
Yes.
It's almost always just me.
I think
There's three of us with either foes, whips, and you throw everything else in the stories, and then we go on like Squirrel and, you know.
Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah, exactly. So, I missed.
I hit the pillow.
Oh, the whole chorus.
So, happy crafting, knitting, everything.
Spinning, sewing,
Spinning,
whatever.
everything.
Try it all out.
We'll see you all next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take care.